entire video.
Well, there we go. So we got the new camo, and I would like to welcome you all into a new episode today on the Black Ops 3s. I would like to, let y'all know what's going on in my life right now. Today was my final day of middle school. Yes! Yes! It was my final day of middle school, and I'm actually so freaking happy to have that done. The middle school that I went to is, probably just your standard, middle school. The VMP looks sick, by the way. Probably just your, standard middle school with, everything you'd think it was gonna have. But, the middle school I went to, everyone is kind of at each other's throats, you could say. I didn't really have I would take that back. Most of the guys that I play with on PS4 that I record with and do all that stuff are great. They are my friends. They're my only friends. But this school is just horrible. Skull Middle School is horrible. I am actually so glad to be done. I'm moving so far away. I'm moving pretty much all the way across the city that I live in, just so I don't have to go with them. Just for some of the kids. The people there are just out of control. They're really bad, out of control, all this, all that. I really hate all of them. I really do. Just, what's happening, and I was so happy to be done. So we're going to start all the way back in 6th grade. I'm going to try not to use names, but I'm going to throw out one name. DJ McGarvey, or McGarbage as I like to call him. He played basketball with me, still does, played baseball with him, and just got done playing football with him in the fall. Basically, we went in being friends, and I think 6th grade we played basketball. And middle school boys, if you didn't know, they're highly competitive in whatever they're doing. It could be like a math contest, and the kids are at each other's throats because, they're so competitive about how the game is going. And we just were so gosh dang competitive that really, Malik and Makai, Eminem Phlegm, if you don't know them, if you haven't followed at all, of any of my friends, then you would know that they're probably my best friends of anyone I have at the school. Frick. But they're probably my best friends out of anyone that I've ever had. Probably my single greatest friendship that I've been smart enough to make. And I was so happy that they were there. Basketball during recess and all this and all that. And he starts taking it way too competitive. Like, way too competitive. VMP looks sick, by the way. For middle school basketball, like at recess. So, anyway, I don't like to, be with people like that. So, I completely, and I'm not much for a person who tries to control people because he thinks he's better than them. Those type of people to me are horrible. I would hope they never exist. But, so anyway, he just gets way too competitive and starts pushing and shoving, and so I bring it to the principal's attention. Now, the principals at middle schools anywhere are retarded. They take everything that's happening and they turn it. True story, right here. Let's sit you down in a room and have you talk about it. And so that's what we did. Now, do you think a bunch of highly competitive middle school boys are going to be able to talk about a problem with each other without, anger being thrown? So that day, friendship's over. No way that I'm going to force myself to be friends with someone like that. Friendship's over. Then and there. Now, I am a person who is willing to make up friendships. Oh, look at that splash, baby. Oh, man. Yeah, so basically, friendship's over from that point on. At this point, I am still trying to mend friendships, because I still think that you can always give someone a second chance. You can always give someone a second chance. So I'm still going, and eventually gets to the point where I think I showed him up one day. That's what got me. I think I showed him up one day when we were playing basketball, and this is middle school basketball at recess. I think I showed him up one day, and he's DJ's 6'10", and I am, or DJ's not 6'10", he's like 5'11", around that area, 5'10", 5'11", and if you know anything about me, I'm 5'8". So that matchup doesn't exactly work well for me. Now for him, it was great. But for me, no, it was pretty bad. Frick. But, you know, we got along well for the end of the 6th grade year. We got along fine. Good enough to where I could still be fine with everything that was going on at school. And then next year starts. And everything changes. Because, you know, hormones start, because this is really the first year that puberty hit anybody. And so, puberty hit like a bitch, if you know what I mean. Puberty hit like a truck to everybody, and nobody was the same. I started losing friends. I gained a lot of the friends that I play with now. I gained almost all of the friends that I play with now from that experience. So I'm very thankful to that. And we get to 7th grade. Now, I had DJ every single year. And let me just say that he probably made my life worse. He was the one who impacted my decision to go all the way across the city that I live in to go to a different high school that he wasn't at. Now, if that doesn't tell you something about this kid, I don't think anything will. Because if someone makes you go halfway across your city, all the way around the city, then you know that they have some problems. So, anyway, back to the situation 7th grade. We're still in the same grade, and I don't have, you know, Malik or Makai or anybody yet. So, really, we're all together, and all these kids are playing basketball. And, you know, I'm over him. I'm going to try to get away from him. I don't want to be anywhere near him anymore. So, I do what any normal person would do, and I stay away from him. But he completely terrorized our entire 7th grade by deciding that he wants to join all of the games that we're in. You know, whether it be anything at all. He wants to join any of them. So really, no one's free from him, and at this point, nobody likes him because he ruins all the games. He's better than he's bigger than everyone else. Let me just say that. So we come up with this plan that a few kids are gonna have to play with him to keep him busy because he has 2 other friends, so 3v3. Me, Justin Gruber, still my friend, doesn't have a PlayStation. Otherwise, you guys would see him in my videos. And I'm trying to think of one other person. It might have been Noah Schroeder, Lily Man. He's one of the older guys. He is very busy, so I don't get to talk to him. And every time we win, you could say quote unquote win, he becomes more and more, you could say, bullyish to us. Like, shows more violence, and it got to one point where I came home with a slap mark on my back and a hand mark on my face from him. Not to mention the countless bruises and trip marks and scratches on my legs from him kicking me. Now, you think, oh yeah, definitely, you could definitely get a teacher to notice this. No. Teachers didn't notice whatsoever. Like, I went to him and showed him all this. Oh, you probably just fell. He's just competitive. That's just how he is. That's what his mother said, by the way. How much of an idiot are you? Honestly. How much of an idiot can you be? So anyway, we get to the end of 7th grade, and I'm like, oh gosh, maybe I won't be on his side next year. Boom! On his side next year. Have him in almost all of my classes. And literally at this point, I was done. I was done with him. And, you know, I was fine being alone. I was fine not being with him. I could deal with him. He instigates everything. He eventually, at one point, followed me to trip me and knock everything out of my hand and knock me on the ground, with a teacher watching, and because he's so buddy-buddy with all the teachers did nothing about it. You want to know what it took? It took my poor mother, who was almost in tears, to call him, to call the school and arrange something. The first time. The first of 4 times that she had to call the school before they listened. So, you know, our counselor says, we're going to sit you two in a room and you guys are going to have to argue out your differences. Now, the first thing I get there and say, we're going to act like we're talking, but this isn't over. I'm not talking to you. So, you know what we do? We get up, we shake hands, and we leave. Teacher thinks it's all good. Next day, same thing happens. I go home and tell my mom, yeah, you want to know what they did? They locked us in a room and made us talk to each other without listening. So you want to know what he did? He said, get up, shake hands. You know, do all that stuff. So she called the school again and told them what happened, and they confronted him and said, that's really not okay, and then left him. So he continued to terrorize me for another month, and then at that point my mother was like, I'm calling these guys. If they don't get it right, then you are moving schools. The third time she called them, they made us sit down in a room with a counselor. Now, you can talk all you want, but it's not going to make it better. Did it make it better? No, it didn't. Whatsoever, it did not make it better. So, we're still stuck in the same situation, where one of us is getting bullied, and the other one is running free. So, DJ's running free, I'm getting bullied. You wonder how I feel. I'm in pain almost every day because of him. So I'm done with the school. I had a transfer form filled out to be transferred. And I didn't get transferred because my mom thought it's not worth it. Oh my god, how did I get him? My mom thought it wasn't worth it. Now me, on the other hand, I'm tired. I'm tired of this entire school. I want to leave. I stay there, and I play basketball. I played intramural basketball. I didn't make the A team because I didn't want to make the A team. The coach asked me to make the A team, and I said no. I want to play on the B team with my friends because this is what this is about. It's intramurals. It's being with your friends and playing for once because you don't normally get to do that. So I caught a lot of shit for that. Excuse my language, but I did. I caught so much from that. And honestly, it was probably one of the worst decisions I ever made, playing middle school basketball. It has pretty much ruins my basketball experience forever. And I honestly am really upset at myself for doing this, but I played, and their coach invited us all to go to the A game at the end, because he knew that I was looking to play some extra games, and he finally said, yeah, okay, that's fine. You can come play on the A team for this tournament that they were in. So yeah, I played on the A team, and I held my own. But that's not the story of how it started. How it started was I'm getting ready, school's over, I'm walking out. DJ, walks up, doing his little DJ walk with his back completely scrouched back, and says, why are you even coming to the A game tonight? You don't belong to. You don't need to. I mean, you're not even going to get the ball anyway. None of you and your little B dicks are going to get it anyway. Word for word what he said. Well, maybe not word for word, but mostly what he said. Now, me, I'm like, boy, you can't say that, because I'm going to the game, and you can't stop me. So I went and proceeded to tell the teacher that your starting point guard, who shouldn't be a point guard because he's 6'10", is being a dick to everybody. Now I suggest you either get that taken care of, or I will go to the school. Now, he says, we got a game to win. And that's his excuse for this entire thing. Is we have a game to win. So no, I'm not gonna sit him. Now, if this was regular basketball, he would have got sat. Now, did he? No, he didn't. So my thing is that he should have. Now, nothing got taken care of, nothing got fixed, nothing ever. Then we get to the point where after that, he does the same things at basketball, does all of this, and at this point, it's high school registration time. I have to choose a high school, and to be honest, I had no clue which one I was going to choose. So I looked at all my options. I either go to North Star, which I'm probably giving it away now that's Lincoln, Nebraska. I either go to Lincoln North Star, I go to Lincoln High, or I go to Southeast, Southwest, any of the other schools. Now, I didn't want to go to North Star, and Lincoln High, my mother went there, so I kind of wanted to start, my mother and my uncle went there, so I kind of wanted to start my own, and they're really bad at baseball. Oh, there's a pool table here? Wow. They're really bad at baseball. So, I didn't want to go to Lincoln High. So Southeast was my only option, really. Southeast is my only option. I choose to go there. I call my friend Connor, who you might know as Any Brave One. He says, "Yeah, sure, I'll come there with you." So he does. We're going to Southeast together. And then DJ finds out I'm going to Southeast. So he proceeds to lay his hands on me, to kick me for not going to North Star, because I am a good baseball player. I can say that. It's not being like cocky or anything. I am a pretty good baseball player, I will admit. Whether it's cocky or not, I don't know. I just know that I am a pretty good baseball player. I've got offers to play for like U.S. national teams, you know, at 13, like the 13 and under U.S. national team. You ever heard of that one? Yeah, I got offers to play for that one. So he's like, "Yeah, you need to come to North Star." And I'm like, "No, why would I come to North Star if you're going?" So yeah, safe to say I'm not going to North Star. He proceeds to bother me, even though it's clear that I'm not going to change my decision for him. And it gets to the point where I have physical bruising. My mother decides, "Yeah, I'm going to call the school about this." Because that's probably something that you need to call the school about. Am I right? So she does, and this time she says, "Do not sit the two in a room together. Make them talk." And she says if he gets out of hand, punish him. Because that's the one thing, is that he never gets punishment. Because he is the middle school god of some sort. Dang, I thought he'd be in here. But yes, so this time he sits us down with the principal, who I've never got sat down with before. He talks with us, he does all of this, all that, and then everything's solved. But then there's his little dick friends, as I like to call them, his dick posse, where they're not done with me yet, and that is why I did not want to get sat down in a room with him. So I got beat up pretty bad. I was fought. I got threats to fight a lot, and it was probably the worst decision I've ever made. Now, and then Malik and Makai come along. They come in the picture. I was friends with them before that, but they had never really, been with me. So this time they come into the picture, and they're great. They're helping me. They're doing all this stuff for me. I'm so grateful that they were there for me. DJ stops. It got to the point where my mother came into the school pregnant and, not wanting to move, and it's tough for her to move. Yeah, she came to the school and she straight up yelled at this kid. She yelled at this kid for me. And I was like, "My gosh, Mom, what have you been doing in your free time?" And she's like, "Oh, just yelling at kids." And I was like, yeah, my mom's a champion. So, yeah, I am so thankful that she came to the school. Honestly, it's been great. And school's out today. SCO Middle School in Lincoln, Nebraska is probably the worst middle school you can ever go to. Unless you have friends going there, I would recommend you to stay as far away from the school as humanly possible. And I truly mean that. If anybody from SCO is watching this, I mean it. I'm telling people to stay as far away from that school as humanly possible, because the school is horrible. God damn it. Well, the school's horrible, and I regret my time going there. I had offers to go other places, and I hate going there. It's a really bad school. It's not for good role modelship. It's not good for anything. Oh my god, teammate. You scared the shit out of me. It's not worth it, trust me. So that is my middle school story. If you want more in-depth stories about it, like if you want an elementary school story, I can just start doing story times. I will do story times. But let me know if you want me to do like an elementary school story, like a high school story for times that I need to do that. Any type of real, story that you guys really want to see about my life, if you want to get to know me more, just let me know. And trust me, I'll tell you all about my life. So, anyway, thank you all for watching. This is going to come up after my stream goes out for today. So, anyway, we graduated. We're finally out of middle school, and we're on to high school. Today's the last day of school, and I'm just so happy that I'm done with this school. This school is horrible. I hope no one ever goes through the same experiences that I did. No one has to do the same things that I do. But I made it through it, and I'm still here for you guys. I'm still gonna do them videos. I'm gonna pump them out. But anyway, if you guys have stuck around this long to hear my painful life story, and you want to hear more happy stories about all my friends and stuff like that, then make sure you like the video and leave a comment telling me that you want to see more of that stuff. And as always, guys, I'll see you all in the next one.